Welcome to ArchiCAD Quick Tips. This is the first of a series in which I will be showing you various keyboard shortcuts, useful commands, more efficient working methods, less common modeling processes, and other helpful tips. In session 1, we'll be looking at 3 keys: the Control key, the Shift key, and the Alt key, and how they can make life easier for the ArchiCAD user. To illustrate how these 3 keys can be used, in the following tips, I've drawn some lines, some polylines, a circle, a spline, some guidelines, and some walls. Tip number 1, hold down the Control key, press the A key. The result, everything is selected. Deselect. Tip number 2, activate the wall tool, hold down the Control key, press the A key, only the walls are selected. Tip number 3, select the Marquee tool, draw a marquee boundary around those walls which you want to select, hold down the Control key, press the A key, and only the walls within that boundary are selected. These 3 keys are also used in shortcuts. For example, if I was to draw a wall in this position and I found it was a mistake, press Ctrl Z to undo. And if I didn't want to undo that, made a mistake, press Ctrl, Shift and Z again to return the wall. Ctrl Z, Control arrow up places you on the first floor of the stories. Control arrow down, down 1 story. Select the line, Control D, allows you to drag it or to move it. Control Z, hold down Control, Shift and D and drag a copy. Alt C gives you the eyedropper where you can pick up parameters, and Control Alt C gives you the syringe where you can transfer the parameters. The Trim tool allows you to trim any linear element to an intersecting contour, edge, or guide. There are 3 methods of doing this. You can select the Trim tool in the toolbar. You can select Edit, Reshape, and Trim, and press on the line you wish to trim. Control Z. But once you've done that, you'd have to go back to the Trim tool to trim a second line. This process means going backwards and forwards to the Trim tool. A more convenient and quicker method of trimming elements is to hold down the Control key and left click on those elements to be trimmed. This action avoids having to go back to the Trim tool repeatedly and thus saving you time. To extend an element to another element or a contour or a guideline, select that element, but there is no tool in the toolbar for this. Go to Edit, Reshape, Adjust, and left click on the element and it is extended. But it's a one-off operation, and to have to go back to Edit, Reshape, Adjust each time you do that can be a lengthy process. Using the Control tool is a much friendlier way of doing the operation. You have to activate the wall tool, select the wall, hold Control and press down on the left-hand mouse button. And this process is one that can be continued again and again. It works with a guideline or a line. Select the element, hold the Control key down, left click on the guideline, left click on a line, select this wall, drag it down, make sure the wall tool is selected, hold down Shift, select it, Control key, select this wall, and that wall is extended to that point. Select this wall, hold down the Control key, select this wall, and the two walls are joined at this point. Now a lot of time is spent using the arrow key, going backwards and forwards to the arrow key to select it, to select and deselect. And if you're in a tool like a wall tool, a simple speedy method of getting an arrow tool is to press down on the shift and you get an arrow. Saving a lot of time, it doesn't matter what tool you're in. If you press down on the shift key, you will get the arrow key. To break or split an element, there are three methods of doing this. Select the element, select the split tool, left click, and the element is split at this point. Another way of doing it is to select the element, edit, reshape, split, left click on the element, and the element is split at this point. The third method, breaking a line or splitting a line, and the easiest method is to select the wall tool, select the element, hold down the control key, click on the line you want it split to. Select the element again, hold the control key down, left click on the contour of the element and it is split. Hold the shift key down, select the element, hold the control key down, left click on the element. The element will be split at any point along those lines. The next step will show how easy it is to manipulate a dimension line using the control key. Select the dimension tool. I'm going to dimension this wall along a few points. Place one here, place one here, I'll place one on the hotspot and one on the guideline. So we've got an associative dimension line. So if I move this wall, the dimension line will move with it. Select the dimension tool, shift click the dimension line. Let's say I forgot to dimension this line here and this line here, or this line here. Control click on the edge of the wall and a dimension is added. Do the same here and a dimension line is added. I am able to delete dimension lines by selecting them, pressing delete. Select dimension tool, hold shift, press on the line. I can add further lines by adding control, clicking on an edge and picking up new dimension lines. I'm placing a single dimension line from this edge to this edge. I will add further points to it by selecting the dimension line, control, adding points that are required, adding points wherever I wish to. The next tip is best seen in 3D. Show all in 3D. Hold down the mouse wheel and you can pan in any direction to move the model. And when you hold shift down and the central mouse button, then the model will orbit in any direction. You can of course press O and it will orbit, holding the left key. Now to pick up parameters from an element, to transfer them across to another element, one would possibly use the eyedropper to pick up parameters and the syringe to inject the parameters into that element. But there is another way with the Alt key. If you press the Alt key and hover above an element, it will show the parameters. If you left click on that, it will pick up the parameters and will set them as a default for that element. So if I left click in open space, draw wall, it will have the same parameters. If I hold down Control, Alt, the syringe is highlighted And again, the parameters are shown. You can, of course, edit those parameters. If I say transfer all settings, then the wall is exactly the same as the other one.